You know, on my main channel, I've addressed this in a number of videos, and it got to the point where I just stopped addressing these people, mainly those from Twitter. But I guess, I guess because my backup channel is smaller, I notice a lot of the comments more than I used to. And a lot of people on the episode reviews I posted yesterday, why don't you like Fatima, Jeremy? Oh, you just can't find anything good to say about Fatima. And I'm just sitting here like, did y'all not watch my season 6 sister reviews? Because the thing is, I've said multiple times now, the Fatima and Sister season 6, this is the Fatima I like. This is a Fatima written where I agree with her stance on things, her emotional vulnerabilities, the way she reacts to things, the way she processes things. It felt like there was some definite growth in between seasons 5 and 6, where Zatima season 2 probably fit in. The Fatima in season 2 of Zatima, I do not care for. She is giving me the vibes of a Sister season 5 Fatima. Now, I could do a whole dissertation of why I don't like Fatima, but I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to list off a couple of points that I've made over and over again. And for the people who constantly go, you don't like Fatima, well, thank you, because you're helping the algorithm by engaging on my content, which helps my stuff spread out more. So I appreciate you. But here's the thing. It's not that I don't like Fatima Wilson. I don't like what Tyler Perry made her after, I want to say, season 4 of Sisters. I want to say towards the back half of Zatima season 1 going into Sister season 5. Out of the blue, Tyler just jacked up the communication between Zach and Fatima. Because I'll remember a time where both parties had their moments where they didn't want to tell the other person about something that they had going on in their lives. Usually it was Zach, like if you got a phone call from what was her name? I forgot. Tony, the senator's wife, who gave him the stock information. The phone calls about meeting up at her hotel room, or if there was something going down, non-Karen related. He was hesitant to tell Fatima. Now, Fatima would know something's off, but he would say, baby, look, I'll tell you, but I can't do it right now. But the thing is, he would eventually tell her. And then when it came to Fatima, it was usually more so on the emotional side. The fact that she was falling so hard for Zach so fast that she was hesitant. And, he would always say, hey, you always avoid looking me in the eyes when you're hiding something or when you're closed off. What's wrong? And then she would eventually open up. Those were great moments. I mean, yeah, did they happen a little too often? Or debatably so, but at the same time, it was consistent. But out of the blue, Tyler began turning Fatima more and more into a sister. Honestly, that was the result of focusing the story more on Zach and Fatima than the other main characters and sisters, where most of the drama got incredibly repetitive and stale, where Zach and Fatima constantly had to deal with an issue, usually Karen related, usually Hayden related. And then in the background, you got the likes of Andy running around between Robin and Gary, Sabrina being mixed into the Q crap with Maurice. It's like the more Tyler takes, semi-recurring characters or kind of like the lower A tier characters and then making them mainstays where it's like, oh, we're going to give this character more screen time. That's when they become worse because Tyler doesn't really write strong material for them. Like Maurice in the early seasons, I like the character. He came in, he was kind of like Tiffany Haddish early in her career, where Tiffany Haddish was, in so many different shows and whatnot. And she had kind of just those one-liners and whatnot where she would come on screen, have like a brief scene and just, bring the house down because it was just so funny, and then she would, be gone. Maurice was kind of like that. But then when he became more of a main character and had more screen time, the jokes really weren't landing like they used to. It felt like there was more, I guess you could say, adult theme graphic humor, and it didn't work for me. I'm talking as me as an individual. And he became really annoying. And when it came to Fatima and Zach, it's like there used to be a time where fans were demanding Zach and Fatima, Zach and Fatima, because we would sit through like a 40-minute episode of Sistas, and we would only get 2 to 4 minutes of Zach and Fatima together. Yes, there will be moments where, or episodes where they wouldn't be together, but they might be over the phone with each other or something. But when we see those two together, it's like, oh wow, I had to sit through like 34 minutes of just boring filler nonsense with the other characters, but we got that Zach and Fatima moment we were waiting for. But then when Tyler started giving them more screen time, that's when the stories became more repetitive. And it just felt like there could never be a still moment between the two. That's what made those little 5-minute or less scenes just so damn good. Because we would see Zach and Fatima together and happy. Because usually when they were apart, Fatima would be frustrated, hating at work, or Zach would be trying to do something, but then the Karen stuff would just pop up in his face. But when these two were together, they were each other's peace in the turmoil of what was going on around them. But then Tyler made it so more often than not, Fatima was the cause of the misery in their relationship. That's not to say that Zach's past coming up to their front door all the time didn't cause drama. I'm not saying that. But you notice it just got to the point where Fatima just stopped apologizing to Zach. Stopped admitting when she was wrong about something. Not willing to talk to Zach. The communication went from, hey, just give me a little time so I'll tell you about it. Which you could argue, well, Jeremy, technically when Zach wasn't being upfront with Fatima about something, it was him processing things. In a way, yes, but more often than not, he was usually trying to squash something in the background, but then Fatima would swoop in and do it for him. That's true. But with Fatima, it's like everything had to be done on her time, and she wanted to talk about something and Zach wasn't ready. She wanted to talk about it right then and there. When Zach wanted to communicate his thoughts and feelings about something, Fatima needs to process it. It's basically her way or the highway. When the relationship went from these two helping each other grow and both being respectful of the other's feelings about things, when that stopped, that's when the relationship stopped being good, and that's when I stopped liking Fatima. When she just got, I know people like, you wrong for saying she's bullying Zach. You're wrong for saying that she's acting like Karen or acting like one of the other sisters. Ever since Ian appeared, that I feel like that was probably the beginning of the end for Fatima. When Ian was introduced towards the middle part of season 1 as Zatima, and ever since then Fatima's been so discombobulated. I feel like that was the beginning of the end. But like I said, in Sistas season 6, she got better in my opinion in terms of the writing and me being able to understand the character more. But in terms of Sistas season 5, the back half of Zatima season 1, and then we have Zatima season 2, I'm not a fan of that Fatima. So for those like, why don't you like Fatima? I hope this video explained it. And I know there are always going to be the people like, well, you aren't hard on Zach and yada yada. Again, did you not watch my season 6 content? Like I said, even though my main channel is currently demonetized, the videos are still there. Go to my Sistas playlist, check out season 6 videos in terms of like Zach's reaction to Karen in the fire, or, Zach ignoring Fatima at the salon, this and that. I've got an entire playlist. Go check them out. And hopefully the people who are saying, you don't like Fatima, maybe you are some of the newbies who haven't really watched my content. I don't pick favorites. Yeah, I might have a favorite character, but when that character does something foul, or I feel like, I really wasn't rocking with him in a particular episode, I'll bring it up. So instead of reaching for your, torches and pitchforks trying to drag me on Twitter or in the comments of my own damn videos, why don't you take a moment, look at the characters, analyze them like I do, and then you can see why I don't like this about the character or that about the character. Notice I didn't really go into the Paul stuff. I really focused more so on when I feel like Fatima started not working for me as a character based on some writing choices that Tyler Perry made in order to, just kind of revamp the character, but as a result make the relationship between her and Zach worse than what it was. So I'm very curious to see how Fatima is going to be written come season 7 of Sistas, when we have new writers who took the reins and created, what we're going to see in 2024. Because remember, season 7 was filmed prior to the strike. So season 7 is already in the books. So we should be getting it maybe, early 2024. So with that being said, this is the last time I'm really going to kind of address the Fatima fanatics, at least for now. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.